Hi loves, welcome to another video, and this is the sewing tutorial of this Queen Anne neckline dress. I already uploaded the drafting and the cutting tutorial. If you have not seen it, you should go check it out. Get right into this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and leave a From the patterns that we drafted in the previous videos, I went ahead to cut it out. For the center front, I did cut in a fold. I cut out the lining and I also used a suede fabric to line the center front. For the side front, I cut out two pieces of the side front and I used the suede material to line the center front. I also cut out lining. For the back, I just cut out the back piece, two pieces of the back piece and two pieces of the lining. I cut out two pieces of the back yoke and two pieces of the front yoke. This is the net I will be using to design dress later, and this is the skirt part of the dress. I went ahead to line this skirt part with a black lining. I'm using a lining because the lace I'm using is not see-through. If your lace is see-through, you should consider using a doll face or a satin fabric for your lining. Okay, but this fabric I'm working with is already thick enough, and I thought using a doll face will make it even thicker, so I used the regular lining. Let's get right into the sewing part. First, I will be working on the front piece, and I'll be using this interfacing as the padding. I don't like using the very strong one, so this is the interfacing I will be using. So first things first, I will be cutting out the interfacing, and I will be making sure it starts from that under bust line. You don't want your padding interfacing to go beyond that line, so I'm just going to place it exactly at that under bust point, like so. Folding my paper, and I'll be cutting it out. After cutting out just enough interfacing for the center front, I'm going to go ahead to trace out the ends of this interfacing, making sure that it's on the same point with pattern paper. I'm not leaving out any allowance. After cutting that out, this is what I have. So placing it on the main fabric, you're going to have something like this. I'm going to go ahead and pin that down, and I'll be placing it aside. The next thing I want to do is cut out the interfacing for the side pieces of the front. I'll be cutting out two of that. Fold my interfacing into two because I'll be cutting two pieces of that. I will place my pattern paper on it, making sure it's starting from the under bust line, and I'm going to simply cut out just enough interfacing. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the excesses, and to cut out the excesses, I'm going to start by trimming out the back up part, trim out the armhole part as well. I'm going to make a curve towards the armhole like so, and that way I have two pieces of this interfacing for both sides. I decided to place it on the main fabric. See, when I place it, this is what it's looking like. The next thing I'll be doing is to join these three pieces together. I'll be joining the side pieces to the front pieces, and I'll be starting the stitching from down. I'm also going to be doing the same thing for the lining, just that the lining would not have any interfacing. And after doing that, this is what I have. I'm going to be placing the lining on top of the main fabric, front side facing each other, and I'll be taking it to my machine and stitching out the neckline like so with about half an inch. After doing that, this is what I have. I went ahead to trim out the excess lining and notch the edges so that will be lying flat and nice. I'll be flipping that over. I'm going to go ahead and fix the yoke of the front piece. Okay, I'll be pinning that down and taking that to my machine to stitch about half an inch. Okay, and when I flip it over, it's going to look something like this. Okay, after stitching it, this is what I have. I went ahead to trim out the excesses at that yoke area, and now we'll be working on the back piece of this dress. I went ahead to sew this strap, and I went ahead to cut it into 3 inches. I'm going to bring back my pattern paper. From the pattern paper, I'll be tracing out those points where the loops are supposed to fit in. And after doing that, I'm going to start pinning the loops down. I'm just going to pick one loop, place it this way, and pin down. Okay, you don't want your loop to be facing the other way, because when you place it that way and sew across, it's not going to be loop again because the lining is going to cover it. So you want to fold your loop and place it away from the edges of the fabric. Okay, so that way when you turn it after fixing your lining, it's not inside the fabric. I hope that makes sense, you guys. Okay, so moving forward, after placing my loop, I'm going to bring one of the lining and I'll be placing it over the main fabric like so. Okay, so now I have my yoke in between the fabric and the lining, and I have my loop up and down by the side. So I'll be sewing these points. I'll be sewing the neck. I'm going to be sewing the neck part, the loop part, and this is what I have. After doing that, the next thing I'll be doing is to place my back piece over the front piece, making sure the shoulders are aligning, and I'll be pinning that down, and I'll be taking it to my machine to sew about 1 inch across that point. I'm going to go ahead and fix the sleeves to the top pattern and also shape the sides of this dress, and after doing that, this is what I have. The next thing I'll be doing is to work on the skirt piece. To work on the skirt piece, the first thing I'll be doing is to fix my zipper for my skirt piece, okay? And to do that, I'm going to measure out where I want my zipper to stop, which is slightly below the hip point, okay? I'm going to flip the two back pieces together like so, front sides facing each other. And I'm going to be measuring where the zipper will stop, and 2 inches above that is where I'll be closing the zipper from, okay? So after doing that, I'm also going to be marking out the knee point. That's where I want the slits to start. So after fixing the zipper to this top part, I'm going to be closing the zip to this point down, okay? And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and shape the skirt part, joining it to the front. And after doing that, this is what I have. I have my full skirt, and now I also have my top, okay? I left about 1 inch on the top and about 1 inch on the skirt as well, so I'll be able to join the top. First, I'll be joining the front pieces of the skirt and the front pieces of my top, okay? And for the back, I'm going to be folding in that 1 inch instead of joining it to the back pieces of the top like so. And when I'm done, this is what I have. I have my breast pad, and I'll be fixing this like so. After lacing it up, I'll be adding extra design with this net, and this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe if you have not, and see you in my next video. Bye.
Shopping and spending the cash. There is no mercy for money.